Tate Schoolers, welcome to another great episode of Tate School of Fitness Corner Podcast. And on today's episode, we have my man. I'm very happy. I'm ecstatic to have him here to sit down and just talk about his life and talk about his journey with us. My brother from North Cali. I'm going to let him tell you where he's from because I love when he say where he's from. My man, LaRussell. Welcome to the show, man.
Come on, man. What an honor.
Yeah, man. Great. I'm so excited to have you here, man. I want to start from the beginning. I didn't give too much in the intro because I think that your story is so important and so actually just real. And your story let people see that things are possible. You know what I mean? If they put in the work and they really love what they do and they're passionate about it. But you are an independent artist. I do want to put it out there, an entrepreneur. And actually, you say what you say what you're gonna do, and you do what you say, and that goes a long way. So I want to start from the beginning. What got you into rap, man?
Man, my pops and my moms just always played a ton of music. You feel me? I've always been consumed and immersed, whether we're in a house or in a car. We've always had huge speakers and parties and dancing. You know, so music has just always been active in my life. From sun up to sundown. My mom will wake up cleaning, playing music, and we'd go to sleep hearing music booming, so I think it was just natural for me to kind of gravitate within that field. When I was younger, I started writing a lot of like poems and shit in early school, just not even realizing it. I just loved to write. I always had notebooks full of just random thoughts and stuff, and then me and my sister used to write over like instrumentals from LimeWire, so that was kind of like my first I'm putting this over beat and it's my own words and shit, and I guess it just kind of carried.
Yeah. And how old were you when you started doing that?
Probably like 6 or 7.
Wow. Yeah, because some people just, I feel like it's in you. And I feel like that's in you. If you start at 6 or 7 saying, hey, I'm going to write this over a beat, like this in you. And that's why I feel like your skills, how you spit now is so phenomenal. Like when your freestyles, boy, people talk about the Breakfast Club freestyle, but I like the Good Company freestyle. I think you did in, I may be calling out the wrong date, but maybe early 2021 or late 2020. Where you had your man sitting next to you. Yeah. And boy, oh my gosh. I was like, man, this not fair. You know what I mean? It's just not fair. Like for real. It is the way that you go into how you ride a beat, how you just get a message across. You're not just rapping about craziness. Like, do that little dance. My favorite, bro.
Come on.
Yeah. Hey, bro. That there alone, yeah. If you don't hear anything else, just play that one there. Just play that one there. You'll instantly become a fan. But I digress. Let me get back on. So when you start writing actually over the beats, what made you say, well, okay, I think I'm pretty good at this? At what point did that hit?
Not for a long time. I just really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was like exceptional or nothing. I just really enjoyed doing it. I probably realized like I'm good at this in high school, after, just kind of rapping and releasing little mixtapes and rapping with the homies and then, doing a couple battles and seeing the reaction. I think that's what gave me that real thrill, that high, like, oh shit, I get to control this, like I'm in control of that. And so probably high school is when I felt like I was like good at it, good enough to make something of it.
Yeah. And what was your first rap name?
My first rap name? Shit. My first one was probably I think it was Mo Bars. I've had a ton, honestly. I've had a ton.
Yeah, but one stuck in Toto Shakur. This is how
Toto Shakur was one for a minute, and that stuck for a while. And then eventually I got, to myself and just, being able to be liberated from, the aliases and the names and the hiding, the mask.
Yeah. Why was that one? Why did that one stick for a while? What was the meaning behind that one?
TOTA stands for Touch One, Touch All, and it was just a crew that was developed like in middle school, and I've just kind of carried on from then, and it just kind of stuck. It only stuck because I start releasing music, so people start referencing me as TOTA. So it's like, okay, well, that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like names are interesting because it's like if you're good. Any name was, I could name myself Little Pizza Boy right now, and that shit, if you're good, that's what the fuck is gonna be,
Absolutely, that's so true. And so I like how you just said. I want to go back to how you said the aliens that you came back to yourself, and you let all the other stuff go. What made you feel so comfortable to just say, "Well, I'm just gonna be LaRussell. This is what I do."
I had to. I was creating an album, my Silence Won't Save You album, which was really, really personal to me. And I couldn't release it as TOTA because it wasn't TOTA stories. It was just my life, and just from everything from the from 0 to 25 at that time. So I really felt like I couldn't have done it any other way.
Yeah. And that's one thing also I appreciate about your art, because you actually are very personal with your music, with your art. You from the jump. Usually you look at rap artists as they evolve and later in their career, the Jay-Z's and they tell you things then like 444, but you started off now, like just saying, this is me. Either take it or leave it. What gives you that confidence? What makes you feel so comfortable to be able to give that to your fans?
Man, I think I just kind of got out all the bullshit early. I made a lot of music before I start releasing music. Like my first album, The Field Effect, came out in 2018. And before that, I made a lot of music that just never released. So I was able to kind of get all the bullshit out and find my lane and find my voice and find myself and figure out the stories I wanted to tell. So it kind of it's just through, after Curry has shot the ball 100,000 times, he just figures it out. Like, this is my shot, and I'll be able to hit it every time. It's so much easier for me to tell my story and my experience. Like it doesn't take me long to write raps because I'm not really writing raps. I'm just talking what the fuck I'm experiencing or feeling. So it's very easy. So, I mean, that was just a natural call for me because if I'm making it up, it just takes me forever.
That's so real and it's so simple. And you would think most people would just do that. Just talk about your life and the art would just come through instead of talking about other people in the hood and telling, your partner down the street story. Just tell your story, because everyone, I'm curious by nature. So I feel like everyone's story is important, so even if when you think it's not, your experiences, other people share. Like do that little dance. You hear that in the Black home coming up. Oh yeah, wake you up in the night. Come on in here. They have their friends over. They say, do that little dance that you do. And you turn that in the message behind that song for us. Could you talk a little bit more about the message behind that song?
I mean, the message is exactly that, do that little dance you be doing. We've all grown up with our moms and our grandmas and aunties and cousins like, hey, come in and show us that little dance, and I feel like that's the duality of it, because that's the beautiful side of it. And even that side isn't always beautiful, because sometimes you're a kid and you don't feel like dancing. But you got to go in there and do that little dance that they want you to do. And that's what happens when you get into this industry. You may not feel like dancing, but when you position yourself in a certain way, now you have to do this dance because you don't want to get your ass whooped. So like it's that double side of it that, everyone's kind of familiar with. But when you hear it in that way, it plays with your mind, because you get the nostalgia of do that little dance. But now you're like, people don't understand. Like, man, this industry been having niggas dancing for years till their feet fall off.
Exactly. And you see it more and more now because you look around the game and it's really is a minstrel show. You know, when you really think about it, you got a lot of cats out here. It's like, if you really, and I don't want to sound like that old man, get off my lawn, but when you really look at the essence of hip hop, it wasn't that. You know, it was expression. It was letting you know what's going on in my hood, you know, representing my hood, you know, either good or bad. That's my hood. I'm gonna tell my story. But now it's like everyone sounds and dressed the same. It's like you got your rapper starter pack. You know what I mean? Like you got that ex stripper who with you. Then you have the jewelry and the name brand, this and the name brand that. They're not doing anything for you or your community. So it's like it's watered down, and it's sad to see. So when I see someone like yourself, it's a breath of fresh air, because you're like, okay, this is what it used to be. You know, this is how it should be. The essence of hip hop. You know,
man, you know, it's industrial influence and impact. You got to understand, like the industry and the powers that be work very hard to ensure, you know, things are a certain way. You remember when AI used to pull up with headbands and getting his hair braided, and they hated that shit. They made everybody start wearing suits because he was that impactful, but niggas was still rocking headbands because he was that impactful. You feel me? But now it's like the industry is kind of pushing that AI narrative, but not in the way AI was doing it. Like AI was doing it like, hey, this is me, this is my shit, this is how we rocking. You know, they've been able to flip that, you know, and just clone it in a way that's just, you know, insuitable, but it's also what it is. You know, a lot of these man, that's how it be. You feel me? Like I'll be out here and you see people, and you know, if you're lost and you come into a sum of money and now you could afford to be lost at a higher degree, that's just what happens. And you know, those are the idols out here. I've never met a lawyer, doctor, accountant, any of that growing up. Not once. I didn't know anybody who was one of those. You feel me? Like we had an insurance man that used to come to the house, but he was just an old black nigga. Like I didn't want to be him, you know.
Exactly, and that's true across the board with a lot of people. That if you can't see it, you can't be it, and that's so simple. People don't think about that. You know, like if I can see it, I can't be it. If I'm seeing negative images of people who look like me constantly, then that's what I'm going to do. That's who I'm going to be.
And that's the thing. They're not negative images. These are real. And that's where we have to be very cautious with how we look, because it's not a negative image. That's reality. You feel me? If we look at reality and his, you know, surreal life as negative, that really frames shit differently for people. It's not a negative image. It's just that's what exists, but it's not the only thing that exists, and that's the problem.
Yeah. That's so true. Because again, it's people surviving, and you have to do what you got to do to survive. No one gonna go around here not eat. Nobody gonna be hungry too many days in a row until they have to come. So that is definitely the truth. I want to switch gears, because I thought this tweet that you sent out was profound, and it's your lyrics, but the reason, because it stuck with me, and I'm pretty sure it stuck with a lot of others. And you may remember this, you may not. It was January 27th, 2021. The famous. Yeah. Well, you say, we bringing trophies home this year. I don't always win, but I always take the risk. They never cheer for you until it go over the fence. And of course, if you just think about it, you know what that means. But when you put that out, how was you feeling? What was going through your mind?
I felt like I was about to hit a home run, and not even about to. I feel like I was consistently hitting home runs, but I wasn't getting, you know, notice for them. You know, like I wasn't getting that accept or the acclaim or the, you know, hey, this nigga over here knocking these bitches out the park. You feel me? Like I felt like I wasn't getting that, you know, and that's all within self. So, you know, that was just me saying, well, I'm about to hit a home run every time I swing. You're going to notice. And like I'm not going to give you any other option. Every time I step up to the plate, it's going over the fence. I don't care how you throw it, that's where it's going. That was one of those moments. I often have moments where I feel very powerful, and that was one of those, and it's always after action, a big game. I think I posted that with the freestyle or something like that, and it was one of those big action moments.
And I want to talk about, of course, your label, Good Compenny, and the movement. It's like a lot of content, a lot of dope artists, a lot of support. Like, what made you, because again, I know you and I know what's going on, but what made you start this? Like, what made you put your homies on pretty much? Like,
right.
What is it about?
Man, it's not even a label. It's really just me and the homies. We don't do no signing and we don't do none of that shit. I just find people that I love and dope if I like what they create, and I just try to help in any way I can. And me and the homies just like to create and make dope shit and laugh and have fun. I went to Vivo in New York in 2019 to do some live performance shit, and they were incredible. It was a great experience, but the environment wasn't the same that I'm used to. Like, me and my homies like to laugh and joke the whole time, and there it was just like more, monotone and serious. Like, it just felt more like work. And I came home like, man, we need to build our own, so I don't have to feel like that while performing. I could just be free. Like, if you notice, when you watch our Good Company sessions, you'll hear laughing in the background. I'm talking to my mama before and jokes and shit, because that's what we do. That's our regular. So I really wanted to come home and build that, and that was this is a result of that thought back then.
Yeah, and again, I think it's beautiful to see, because watching you freestyle and things that you post, like you did a show in, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in your backyard.
Yeah.
And it just, first off, that's genius in itself, because you're relaxed. I'm home. These are my people. You don't know who fans are family. And it seems like everybody's family who rock with you. And that's a beautiful thing, because when you have people who they're invested in you and your success, pretty much, because they want to win, because it looked very pure and it looks real. It don't look like it's staged like a lot of things.
It's extremely real. My biggest fans are my homies. Like, the people who come to my shows are people who be at my house and hitting me and texting me, like, man, it's I constantly see familiar faces, and that's because, like, they've been here from the jump and they understand what I've built from the dirt and what we've done together. So it's a real, it's a real family vibe. Even some people who order merch and shit, like I'm pull up to the crib, I'll give you this to you. You feel me? Like, they'll pull up, or if it's a Vallejo order, my mom will drop it off. I'll drop it off. It's like, right, we regular people. Like, I think that's what people tend to forget when people start getting success and acclaim, because you start seeing them on blogs and on TV and shit, and you dehumanize them, and it's like, bro, that's not me. I still walk to go pick my daughter up, and I'm yelling high. I just got off a bike ride around the V. Like, I'm really a regular, person who's just talented. So we've been able to really build around that. I don't want it to be any other way.
And that has brought on a lot of great legendary cosigns as well, because of your vibe. Like, 2021 was a big year, to say the least. Yeah, it was. I'm going to go through a couple of things that I actually picked up and wrote down. You was pretty much co-signed by Snoop Dogg. He shared your son, Big Snoop. You legendary LA Reid, you met. Too Short, you met. And actually performed with Too Short.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. With the Breakfast Club interview, we're gonna go to that next, because that freestyle. Wow. And then I wanted correct. You have a song with P-Lo and E40 that you did last year.
Yeah, I have my own song with E40 as well.
See, that's wow. And and the reason why I'm saying wow is because the work that you put in, and I'm not gonna say again, I don't want to say a short period of time because you've been doing this for quite some time. But that tweet, January 27th,
right.
You know what I mean? That's why it seemed like you said, hey, this is it, and we're going full speed. There's no fact. I'm swinging, I'm hitting, and then y'all catch on later, but I'm gonna keep swinging. It's gonna go over the fence. And all 2021 has been huge.
Over the
fence. and I want to talk because again, like I said, I think your most well-known interview is Breakfast Club because people just was like, yo, who is this? And my boy hit me up. He was like, hey, you got to watch Breakfast Club tomorrow. LaRussell's going to be on there. And I was like, okay. And of course, it was phenomenal. I wish it was longer, but hey, it is what it is. Could you talk about the leading up to that and what changed after the Breakfast Club interview?
Man, leading up to it was just, the butterflies, all the feelings of like playing your biggest game. It felt like the NBA Finals, and it's Game 7, and it's like, man, I'm a deliver, and I remember being in the lobby, and I was with my best friend, and he was like, "It's just another game, bro. That's what you do," And that kind of released everything in me because it's like, right, it's not a big game. It's just another game. You know? Like when you shoot all the time, there is no big shots. That's why Curry can constantly deliver because it ain't no big shot. Everything is a shot to me. I've shot this shot, millions of times, and I rehearse, going into Breakfast Club hundreds of times. I use rehearse every single day, so it's like I've done this 1,000 times and it becomes muscle memory. So, just going into it with that dog mentality of like, man, this is another game I get to play, like it's fun when you get to the state of like, man, just go play. This is what you do. Like, I love watching LaMelo ball because he's always just playing. Like you can clearly see that he's a kid enjoying what he does. He doesn't care, like he wants to win, but he doesn't care if he loses. Like he's here to play. He loves this game. And that's how it is for me, and after was a big boost, it was just, a continuance of whatever of all the energy we were going into it with, coming out of it was really beautiful to get so many new fans in NY and on the East Coast and just everywhere because that was national radio. So, we got to see the effects of that. But yeah, it was just a continuance of all the work we put in, it was another layer on top of the foundation we laid.
Yeah. And I knew, I was talking to my brother and I was like, after this, it's going to blow. He's going to blow. Because, again, it's Breakfast Club. Everybody watch Breakfast Club. Everybody know the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God there, Envy, Angela, like, they're known. They've been in the game for quite some time. Thanks. So, usually when you get on there, you made it when you get on there. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knows that. So, it's no secret. But with all the things you have done, I'm definitely, anybody listening can tell that I'm a fan. And I just think it's just, you're dope and everything you've done so far has been amazing. But the one thing that I absolutely love the most is the fact that your fans can buy a percentage of your catalog.
Wow.
Which is crazy because you said it, and I hope I don't mess up the quote, but you're like, just imagine we could have invested in Jay-Z and now he's Sean Carter. Wow. Like, come on, you won in life, right?
Wow.
That was it. You won. So could you talk a little bit about where it came from and how has that been so far?
Man, it's actually been a long string of thought that I've noticed. A couple years back, like 2020, I was riding my bike and I was thinking about Nipsey's, $100 album. And I was like, how the fuck can I do that, but in a way that works for my people, because my people may not have 100 to give. So I was just thinking of ideas. And that's when I came up with the it's not free, it's priceless, and the donation-based theory. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let people choose what they gonna pay, because I don't know what you got. You may only have 5, but it might be your last 5, and to me that means a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do that, and we start testing it with shows and shit. And then, you know, as that going, I did the project with Tate, and I gave away equity just to see if people understood what a percent was and what equity was and a share was, and people received it well because it was the first time. So after that, it was just like, let me see if people will want to buy some. You know, I have every song I have, you know, over 50% stake in the song. So it's like, I don't need that shit. I have thousands of songs, so I don't need to have this much of every single one. I could give some away, and I've done that. I've always done it with my homies, and like my daughter owns a percentage in everything I does. Her mom owns a percentage in my dad, my mom, you know, they all own percentages in all my work. So I'm like, well, let me give some to the people who you know streams it every day and listens to it as well. So it was just like a long string of thought, probably over 2 years worth of just getting to this point, you know, and one day it just popped. One night I was thinking about it, and it was like, let's try it. You know, we woke up, shot the video and announced it, and it went.
Yes, because it is, again, people don't understand because it's not, first of all, a lot of people don't think that way. So it's new, it's innovative, it's genius, because as you grow, we grow. And that's absolutely that's amazing. That you are Apple right now. And people have, you know, like they probably like, oh, well, who is this LaRussell? You are Apple right now. You know what I mean?
I'm Steve Jobs. My
exactly.
songs are Apple.
It's like, it's going to grow in such a way that people need to catch on to the wave now, because as a couple of years from now, it'll be scary.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, they'll be like,
the people who get in now and the people who have got in now are man, life changing. You know, their kids are going to go to college off passive income. You know, they're going to be able to retire one day off passive income. Like the income for music is just forever. It's in a perpetuity. Michael Jackson's family still get millions every year, and that shit just don't stop. It don't stop coming in, you know. And I have another 20 albums worth, you know, to give and allocate. So the people who are here now, man, it's a big W. You know, you imagine everyone who bought into, you know, Nvidia and Facebook and Alphabet and Tesla and Amazon, like everybody who bought into those that first year of IPOing. Oh man, it doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're seeing right in front of our eyes. I mean, just last week, Nas did NFT for his. So I'm just like, this is going to be something that's going to catch on. Again, people are kind of late to the game, unfortunately, because they just think everything is a scam. You know, that's how people be thinking. Everything is a scam, but not knowing that your 9 to 5 is a scam as well. But that's a whole nother topic. But you know, I feel like this is something that is going to, with independent artists at least, is going to spread very, very quickly.
Man, I really hope it does. You know, we got a lot of messages when Nas did it, and a lot of people was kind of upset that I wasn't getting credited. But, you know, that was our intention. You know, I wanted more people to do it. That was the goal. And I think that more indie artists should, because you just imagine if a Drake or a Little Baby or a Russ and, you know, any of them do this, they make more money than the labels could ever give them. The labels can't give you as much money as a million different people trying to get stake in your shit. You know, it's not even close. Drake will run up $1 billion if he did this tomorrow. Easy. You know, but the only thing is, like, you'd have to create new catalog. Like, I'm able to do this because I own my entire catalog, you know, so that's like the hindrance with a lot of artists. But if you indie and you own your work and your catalog and you have people who support you, man, even like Toby in Wigway, like if he was to do this shit tomorrow, gone.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to mention Toby and Russ because I want to know your relationship with Russ. But Toby is, man, when he came to Atlanta here, I was like, bro, people don't even, again, people don't realize that you don't need the middleman anymore.
Never.
You, Toby, Russ are prime examples. And I can't forget the legendary Too Short, but and many other independents. But right now, prime examples of, I was at a conference in 2018, 2017, I think, and they was talking about the phone in our hand. There's like, this is the future. You don't need permission anymore.
You don't need nothing.
Nope. If you got
nothing,
you got internet signal, that's it. You good.
Man, I've blown my entire career, from my phone. Like you, you're like, man, this is your biggest year. And it's like, I've left my home probably 5 times to go out, like I be here with my homies. Like, I haven't had to do much.
That's amazing. And I think, of course, with everything, people need some kind of outlet, so they use their phone for fun. But if you just focus and put your passion into that phone, you can really change your life.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
And some people complain, and it's like, man, it's a tool, bro. Just another thing on your tool belt. How you use it is up to you. If you sit there and use a hammer all day, then you fucking up what the hammer is for. That has nothing to do with the hammer, but it's a tool. We just have to utilize it properly. It's easy to get consumed in it. Use your phone. Don't let your phone use you.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with Russ. Are you working with him? Because you're not signed to him, are you?
So I'm not signed to Russ. I am signed with Russ. So we have a deal for a project that we're working, that we're going to do jointly and collaboratively and push. But I'm also, I'm fully independent. So everything that I've been dropping is completely under me and mine. I do everything, all the marketing push. I don't have any backing supporting me, but we did agree to do a project together because he really fucks with what I does and loves me. And he's been just a huge supporter and giving me opportunity to really do what I want to do on a grander scale. So yeah, we're partnered, and we're going to be doing a project together that's going to be, able to take us to a even larger scale.
That's so dope, because I saw him talking to Charlamagne on the Breakfast Club about you, and I was like, that's so dope, because to me, Russ is so underrated. Like, oh my God, like Chump too, boy, boy, and like he said, album of the year, if not album of the year, damn near close. Like Chump 2 was absolutely amazing, but again, I don't know why they don't give him his flowers, but
he's right.
yeah, pretty much.
Right. That's just what comes with. You got to understand, the culture is Black, and we will never fully relate to a white rapper. So it just doesn't matter. You don't get to get that acclaim. He's white. It's like, when I hear stories, like, it could be the same story as something I experienced, but I relate differently because I'm Black. So it's just that heart doesn't get to connect in the same way as when a Black person tells it. That's all it is.
That's very true. Because again, like I say, the talent is definitely there.
It's hyper talented.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and the fact that you're doing everything, and you putting out this work, and you have the names that he has on his albums,
right?
And standing toe to toe with them, like they ain't coming on your shit, just whooping your ass. Right. You're standing toe to toe with them, so right. It's like, it's amazing. I was late to Russ, but once I heard it, I was like, bro, this guy is absolutely amazing right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Like, yeah, they definitely got to give him props. I don't want to hold you. I want to ask you one thing about your family, because you mentioned your mother, your father, and go auntie. Had auntie come out and do it at your performance. Like, I know this is going to be a crazy question, but I know it's all about family, but what role has your parents played in your career?
Man, an exponential role. My pops was like my pops was my first label. He was the first person to piece up with me and go, if I had to do a show, I'm gonna put up 5, he gonna put up 5. Like, if we need to do merch, you feel me? I'm gonna put some bread. He gonna put some bread. Just continuously, support. Like he was my first backing and first infrastructure. Like we really did this shit indie with our own bread that we worked for, day in and day out at our job. So, man, just when I ain't have it and I was having to go meet labels and go to these different places, and before then, like just making sure we had enough bread to eat and move around and maneuver, so man, my parents played a huge role. And my mom's, like I say, when we press up merch and packages, she's out there dropping those off, taking them to the post office, running to get whatever we need, and keeping weed rolled for us, and just playing. Everybody plays a role. My sister was just down there the other night pressing up merch. This next run is a bunch of shirts that she did to help us out. My aunties, my cousins, they pull up to almost every single show, like they're out there in that crowd. I can hear their voice. I know it's love there. I know my family's out there. So, I mean, it's played an important, pivotal role to my success. I'm very successful because of my family and my homies.
Yeah. And again, if anyone, just for anyone who just getting on to you or whatever, if they see a performance, they see how you move, they see how you post, it's always love. It seems like everybody's always happy, and that's rare. You know what I mean? Like, and it don't come off as fake a stage, because you could tell when somebody vibe, you like, come on, man, that's real. But in your case, in your people, they're really having a great time. They really enjoying what's going on. They are present in the moment, and I feel like that is so important. To really be in the moment, because that's all you have. It seems like everyone on your team really is into that and respect that and vibe like that.
Man, we've all got it out of the dirt, bro. Like this shit started with absolutely nothing. We didn't have no resource, no count. All the shit we have here just wasn't here. We really manifested something out of absolutely nothing, from dust. And when you get it like that with your people, man, it's hard not to smile. It's hard not to be inspired and not to smile. We know what was here before and what exists now. My entire team are about to be millionaires and beyond, and just from creating art. We've been at this. We've done the shows where only 5 people show up and no one's there and losing money. I've spent thousands into just bad marketing, PR, just everything. We've done it. I've taken all those L's, and I heavily look out for my team. It don't matter what it is. If you need rent, you need gas, you need we gonna make sure it gets done. And just we're there for each other. I've slept on the couch for these past few years just grinding, but I've always had a place to lay if I needed a bed. It doesn't matter. And we built that. Like, you just can't replace that type of shit, and that's why you see these smiles, because it's like, bro, we from North Vallejo, we in New York right now for rap. Why wouldn't I be smiling? Like, this shit don't happen.
Exactly. And sweet. And now I must say, is anyone else from Vallejo that, other than yourself, who is in the game, who just have a career, just anybody who made it out of Vallejo other than yourself?
E40, Nefta Farrow, CC Sabathia, Jeff Gordon, Baby Bash. Man, we got a few athlete football players and basketball. It's been a few, but just at different degrees. It hasn't looked like this yet, and that's because no one is me, and my making it hasn't looked like theirs. So this is one of the first times that it's looked this way. We haven't had someone rapping on Breakfast Club or in the meeting with Reid and shit, because it's just new. It's a different piece. But yeah, man, we've had some gems come about. Mac Dre. We've had gems come about the city.
Oh, yeah. And a reason, again, I know that some listeners and some have no idea about other than LA. People say LA. That's it. They don't know anything else. So of course, I grew up with E40, Mac and Dre. So it's a beautiful thing to see now the next installment, the next generation, yourself coming in and representing. Because again, it does look different. We're in a digital world, a world of where you can do what you do and dream what you dream and make it happen off your phone. And that's just a whole different thing. And you inspire so many. So I love what you're doing. I wish you all the absolute best and success. I'm gonna let you go. I have one more question because you did mention the bike ride, and I want to ask you, like, what does your fitness and health, what has that journey looked like during this process? Because you grinded, so you gotta ground yourself. So what is your regimen when it comes to your health?
Man, I don't really have one. I used to get up and I go bike every morning, and then I go try to shoot. I shoot until I made 100 shots. I play tennis with my daughter's mom and a homie sometimes, or we'll play frisbee. My daughter was playing soccer for a little bit, so we played that. And I really just like to play. You know, we'll go get on the bikes and hit some trails or hike every now and then, and I go take walks. You feel me?
Yeah.
I really just like to play and be outside. So I'm trying to incorporate it more. But I actually lost a bunch of weight because I got sick mid last year, which, you know, people didn't even know because I was going so hard. You couldn't tell, but I was sick, and it just like I couldn't eat or anything. So I lost all the weight due to like just fasting, you know, just my body getting back to its natural state. And man, it actually saved my life. I feel like it was the greatest thing that could have happened. It gave me a lot of mental will and mental power. Like, man, it's very tough to be happy and smile and perform when you're hungry.
Yeah.
People don't understand. So yeah, man, that was like that. And now I'm just, you know, yesterday I had, you know, just a big moment where I just felt really good and wanted to just be outside more. So now I'm trying to, you know, get back into that swing.
Well, that's good, man. I definitely, I think that is always important as just being human to actually just have some kind of being active, no matter what it is, as long as you're active. So again, if anyone wants to follow you about merch or anything, where should they go?
Man, LaRussell on everything, and then Good Company spelled Compenny. And yeah, I'm at LaRussell on everything, man. I just, you know, follow, stay tuned, and watch the journey. It's a hell of a show. The greatest movie you could ever watch.
But true. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on. And again, like I said, I wish you absolutely all the success. And we'll see you at the top, bro.
Beautiful. What an honor, man. Thank you for showing me so much grace and love. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.